If you've been charged with a DUI, then you're going to want to pay extra close attention to my special guest today, who is Tony Miley. Tony is a DUI attorney in New Oxford, Pennsylvania, and he's one of the top DUI lawyers in the entire country. He's handled thousands of cases successfully. He's practiced law for over 25 years, and today he's going to be sharing some of his super special insights on what you can do to help your situation. So first of all, Tony, thanks for being here.
My pleasure, Frankie. Thanks for having me.
Tony, you mentioned earlier that there are some defenses that can allow somebody to be discharged or lessen their criminal charge. Can you explain just a little how that works and how you help people sort of facilitate that?
Sure. In Pennsylvania, a lot of police departments, not all, but a lot of police departments have a system. They call them dash cams. A lot of that's come about because there's been a lot of accusations, and so to protect the police, as far as false claims of brutality and things like that, they have these little cameras mounted on their dash, hence dash cam, that records everything from maybe a couple of minutes prior to pulling an individual over until after the individual is arrested, if that person is arrested. And it's recording things audibly and visually. And when a police officer pulls an individual over, they have to have cause to do so. To arrest an individual, they have to have something called probable cause. And the police officer, from the moment they see you and they're following you, they are developing this thing called probable cause. And one of the big things that they do to seal this probable cause, or to make it more definite, is what they call field sobriety tests. Now, a police officer can't just go around and arrest you and tell you to go to a hospital and give a blood test. He's not allowed to do that. He has to arrest you, then take you to a hospital where they draw blood. And then the analysis that goes in determines what the level of alcohol is. However, if they didn't have probable cause to arrest you, then that blood test is inadmissible evidence. And therefore, it makes proving DUI that much more difficult, because if you go to trial on something other than a blood test result, they have to show how you were driving. And we all know not everybody drives the same way. And just because an individual does this thing or drives with a busted out taillight, or maybe not a busted out, but a burnout taillight or something like that, doesn't mean you're intoxicated. It just means that you were driving with a burnt out taillight. So a skilled attorney will be able to look at this MVR, as they call it, motor vehicle recording or dash cam, and look to see if the police are following the procedure of field sobriety tests. And I'll tell you right now, they don't. Whether it's state police or local, they don't even understand them. In fact, most of the time, the police come up with their own tests that aren't even standardized, that prove absolutely nothing. And yet, an individual who hears, that the police officer gave me a field sobriety test, so I must be guilty, is not true. They may have given you a test. That means absolutely nothing. Suppose I give you a test of counting backwards. Well, that's not a standardized test. It hasn't been proven to show anything as far as your ability to drive safely. And so, if the police do not follow the proper procedure, a skilled attorney can take that information and, through various court proceedings, potentially get the blood test thrown out of court or make it inadmissible. And therefore, you're well on your way at that point to a not guilty verdict, because it's much more difficult to prove someone is too drunk to drive than it is to prove that they're too drunk because of a certain level of alcohol in their system. That makes sense?
Yes, that was excellent. So thanks again, Tony, for your incredible insights. If you're watching this video and you'd like to get more information, Tony has a special book called The Ultimate Guide to DUI. It'll explain to you everything you need to know about your DUI case in simple, plain, everyday English, no lawyer talk. And this way you can give yourself the best possible legal defense. So you're going to want to go ahead and download that for free by clicking the link below this video while supplies are available. So go ahead and grab your free book, and thanks for listening.